Well, thankfully they have 2 games. This is going to be the second one going in to pick some bans. Retribution versus Cyclone. Retribution looking very strong. Very convincing, like you said.
And Nemesis, again, a huge part of why Retribution was able to do it as well. Jeron picking the right targets to strip the protections away from, and then the rest of the team following up onto that target immediately. And again, if you're Retribution, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sobek, I know Ezzuna isn't in the solo lane, but you never know. Whenever it goes that poorly in the solo lane, like it did for Salugi, maybe Ezzuna says, "All right, I'm done. I'm going solo. I'm going to carry this game." So Retribution just kind of covering their bases, making sure he doesn't get that solo back.
Fair enough. Well, we got to see Nemesis in the first game. Not going to see here for the next one. Immediately banned out from Cyclone. That ultimate is just too powerful.
Really just brings so much to the table. It just does so much for your team composition. It does mean that you're going to be doing a certain style of team fight. You're going to be looking for one particular target, but it doesn't limit your god pool choices whatsoever. You can pick almost anything with Nemesis and it will be successful.
Freya banned out by Retribution. Not going to give Cyclone their trump card that we have seen previously. And then Terra. No surprise there. The sustain, but that means Guan, Fafnir, Susano, Raijin, all of these big picks that all of these teams like are on the table.
Last time, instead of the Nemesis ban, Cyclone banned away Zeus, so maybe Elexum is going to go for that in the mid lane, though he had a pretty good game on that Raijin instead. It is going to be the classic console selection of Guan Yu.
I mean, the sustain that he brings to the table is nothing to sneeze at, but Susano going to get picked up from Cyclone, maybe able to just kind of help with the peel. Fafnir as well. So
the same picks from Cyclone, and I'm okay with that because those characters did their job last game. Susano did his job doing a lot of poke damage and being a nuisance. Fafnir secured 2 objectives for Cyclone, doing his job as well. It was really that Sun Wukong on the right side of the map that didn't do it, and Bloakley. Bloakley also had a very, very rough game, but that was mostly because Amaterasu was just keeping him entirely out of fights. We saw he was getting dove at his own fountain late in the game by Amaterasu. So if the solo laner doesn't get as far ahead, it probably isn't as bad for him as it was last time. This time it's going to be Athena yet again for Retribution. Cobb had some really, really great taunts. A lot of really great triple and double taunts, but missed a couple of easy ones as well. So a little bit of hit and miss there. And Zeus, there's the Zeus for Elexum that was banned away last game.
Yep, so Guan Yu, Athena, Zeus, Susano, Fafnir, and Janus. Gonna have Janus in the mid lane, kind of help out with those rotations if things go sour in the solo lane.
Just a lot of mobility thus far for Cyclone. Fafnir, 2 jumps available, 1, and then he transforms and then jumps again. Susano, 2 dashes. Janus, more than 2 portals if he uses through space and time. Tons of mobility available to him. I'm just a little bit concerned about the overall damage of Cyclone. We saw that they just weren't doing enough last game, and Janus is not that burst damage mage that can really burst down people easily.
But Hunbots and Fenrir banned out for Cyclone. Retribution getting rid of the Jingwei and the Odin. It would have been nice to see that Odin picked up, prioritized, but I don't know if they wanted to give that over to the duo lane, or the support role.
Yeah, so, probably would have been, the Odin probably would have been in solo, right.
Yeah,
the Odin probably would have been in solo, and maybe, Salugi not looking confident on the Sun Wukong. Odin does have a high risk reward factor. Yes, he can insta clear the way with Bird Bomb, but if you can bait that out, the jungler rotates over, he's basically dead in the water. So wanted to give him probably a little bit more of an easier matchup in that solo lane, banning away that Odin. Still a strong call overall from Retribution though.
Cyclone aiming for the late game, picking up the Xbalanque. Want to go ahead and try to stack him up as much as possible. Give that to Styley, let him just farm up. But gonna have the Chronos for Retribution.
And again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Welshbeastq had an awesome game last set. It was nice and easy because he didn't have a whole lot of pressure on him because Amaterasu was keeping all of their damage dealers off of him. But he was able to put out a ton of damage and be very successful. Erlang, Shen going to be the last pick here. So it's probably going to be, if I had to guess here, I'd say it's going to be Erlang jungle, Guan solo, Athena support. Now all 3 of these gods have been played in support and in solo
and in jungle.
So it's going to be tough. They've got a lot of options on the side of Retribution. So even though Cyclone has seen all 5 draft picks from their opponent, they probably still don't know exactly where they're all going.
And see, that would be my guess too, because Erlang, Shen, really good in solo, really good in jungle. But Ymir going to get picked up for the last pick of CycloneGG.
All right, so it is going to be Erlang solo, Athena jungle, Guan Yu support. So a little bit off.
just a smidge.
We did have the Erlang solo, and I like that a lot. And I wonder if it was they were waiting to see Cyclone's composition to see where they wanted to put everyone, because Ymir has a significantly better matchup in the solo lane up against Guan Yu than he does against a character like Erlang. He can freeze away the Talu Assault, which stops Guan Yu's clear significantly. Plus, he one-shots the wave with the Ice Carpet, so the heal on the minions not nearly as effective. So once they see that, maybe Retribution say, okay, we're not going to put Guan Yu into this support. We're not going to put Guan Yu in the solo lane because it's not a great matchup for him. Whereas let's give MangoMan another high-pressure god that if he gets ahead, he can make a huge impact with, and Erlang is exactly that.
Now with the Ymir, for Salugi, is that going to be just more of a give him a tankier god, a little bit more sustained, bring some CC into the team fights even if he is behind?
Exactly. You want to give him a character that he can be effective on even when behind. Sun Wukong, not exactly the ideal character in that scenario, so giving that to him now, like you mentioned, we'll always have the freeze, we'll always have the wall, that kind of stuff to just keep players where you want to keep them, no matter how far behind he gets in this game.
Respecting the deep wards coming out from CycloneGG, if anything, to make sure they're not being invaded, and to probably try and check out what exactly they're going up against. Bloakley taking a good bit of damage from Elexum, missing out on anything that Bloakley would have been able to dish out. And
that's just standing in the shield toss. You got to know where that's coming from. Very, very late on the solo side. I wonder if something went wrong with that clear, because that was extremely late from Salugi. Tons of poke on the left-hand side onto CobbY, but with that conviction heal, not super worried about it.
It must have not been too late, because we already have Janus and Susano taking these left mid harpies for CycloneGG, but that does mean that Retribution took both the fire imps as well as the right side.
And that puts MangoMan ahead. And that's what you want. If I'm game planning here for Retribution, I just want to keep MangoMan ahead. Let's play through him just like we did last time. Let's let him get a character that he could pressure with in lane and try and make a big impact in team fights, and that's where the Erlang selection came from.
It's kind of like Eager strats. Feed Delta Marine? Nah, just go ahead and feed MangoMan. Let him go crazy for it. But Salugi gonna be able to have a little bit easier time keeping himself alive versus this pick.
Doesn't have the mobility that he did on Sun Wukong, but the overall clear much better early. Like I mentioned, can one-shot the wave with that second ability, so he's not as worried about putting himself in a bad spot. Though he does, if he isn't able to walk up to the wave and clear it himself, he does get pushed under tower very, very easily.
Ezzuna getting pushed under tower very easy from Cyclone, just because of all the damage that Zeus is dishing out. This game, we're actually not seeing that defensive start.
And I like that more, because as Zeus, you're there to deal damage. You're not there to live. That's when you play a character like Zeus or like Habwa, you're not really worried about living a whole lot, in all honesty, because you don't expect to. You're playing as if you're just going in and doing as much damage and then dying. So going for the Warlock Sash, yeah, it might let you live, but he excels at doing damage. And so Elexum going for this extra damage-oriented build. The Vampiric Shroud gives him some extra sustain in lane and a little bit of extra tankiness, while still not sacrificing his overall damage ability.
MangoMan taking a little bit of damage. Salugi may be able to find a kill onto it. Gonna find the first blood onto MangoMan, completely flipping the events from last game.
Great job there by Salugi, and that must be a huge confidence boost for him, being really abused in the last game. There's no other word for it. Got absolutely demolished in that solo lane, and then getting the first blood, the early solo kill onto MangoMan. That is a huge confidence boost for a player in a new role. Excellent job by him.
I mean, these games are also a mentality thing. If you get behind, if you start having issues, it affects your gameplay and it affects your judgment. So having that come through, getting that fantastic first kill, definitely going to be helping Salugi out throughout the game.
Confidence is just as, if not more important than mechanical skill in Smite. It is a huge part of the game, and just having that confidence and getting that early kill is going to help Salugi a lot. And now this is going to help Ezzuna a lot too, because it won't be MangoMan invading that speed buff every single time. Look at it, he's already getting this second one right now.
Yeah, I mean, able to secure that for themselves at this point. We're looking at Team Retribution. They're team ambiguous. They have 3 ambiguous characters. They could have gone at any place, and yet they still managed to work. You have Welshbeastq with the hypercarry. What can Cyclone do with this team comp? What is their goal?
Well, their goal right now is to stop MangoMan on this blue buff. Gonna be able to steal that away, it looks like. I'm pretty sure he got that despite the Typhoon from Salugi. So even Salugi just not just back to a little bit the wrong time. Gonna have to use the ult here just to sustain himself. MangoMan taking a lot of damage from Salugi.
Yeah, but I mean, it would have been even worse if you hadn't popped that ultimate. You got the taunt in a couple seconds. You're gonna get all that. You're gonna get all that health back. And Salugi, like all of MangoMan's attacks in that entire ordeal, just bounced off of him.
And another thing that a lot of people don't recognize about that ult that makes it so strong is you also get percent damage mitigation whenever you pop that heal / taunt from Erlang, but it does take a little bit to go off. Here, Cyclone looking at the Gold Fury yet again. Here comes Ezzuna, or Guan Yu on the horse, but it is going to go the way to Cyclone. DineOhSaw gets very low, but so does CobbY. He's taking a ton of damage.
CobbY going to try to find the pull. The snipe is going to be just off the mark. CobbY not going to get taken out. Instead, we're not going to see any kills, and that's going to be very clean and very clear cut. Gold Fury for Cyclone.
Another free Gold Fury for Cyclone. Retribution just not in position there. Jeron had the ultimate available as well. I'm surprised he didn't use it onto CobbY there to try and get there to the Gold Fury. He had the Wrath. I mean, that's a great seal potential. Using that Athena ultimate and the Wrath would have been able to probably put a lot of pressure on that Gold Fury, if not steal it outright. Instead, Cyclone able to get it and continue to push this lead that it was actually Salugi who got it for him.
I mean, in Salugi, starting off very strong. Are we going to see that same kind of focus that we saw last game to try and take this Ymir out, especially since he's a Ymir?
No, most likely not. Like you mentioned, he is a Ymir, and he's the one who's ahead right now. Yeah, it's MangoMan's going to have probably more poke damage against him, but with that Mark of the Vanguard, he's not super worried about it. So the focus is definitely going to be more on characters like Ezzuna and Bloakley in the mid lane.
It's going to be a very different game because MangoMan's not going to be able to freely rotate like he did last time. Once again, we're seeing the ultimate being used, and then Athena's ult being channeled. Salugi trying to pop the ult, but not going to be able to. Fantastic rotations coming out from Retribution, putting themselves on the board.
So I guess the focus is still Salugi there. A huge 4-man rotation coming to that right-hand side. The support was even there in the right-hand jungle. Just no ward coverage on that right-hand side. Even if he had the ward coverage, though, the Athena ultimate probably was enough to finish him off. Elexum there able to rotate and get some extra damage to help out the kill for MangoMan, but no ward coverage. But even with it, like I mentioned, even Athena ulting in there probably enough. So now Salugi has to be very wary of how much poke damage he's taking, because if he gets too low, he can just get all in. He can get taunted in, and the Defender of Olympus will probably be enough to finish him off. So he needs to be wary of that now.
We saw a lot of early wards coming out from CycloneGG, but now I'm very surprised to see that right side completely just open. The left side's covered. CycloneGG have a couple there. They have one in the mid and one on the left side under the Gold Fury, but that's not where the action is right now. It's a speed camp once again. The wall going to keep Elexum from getting away for a couple more seconds. Typhoon being charged up. The good knockup. Purification being popped, but so is the Dragon.
Now the nice stun coming out from CobbY, but Elexum goes into the portal, taking so much damage. He's going to fall here. Jeron around the backside can't do anything to help his teammate. MangoMan forced out as well. Just too many people on that speed buff for Cyclone. Retribution wanted to go there and contest it. Great wall there from Salugi to stop Zeus from running away, separates him from his team, and then they just dump everything into him. That is the first death for Elexum in the mid lane.
Yep, able to find that, start stifling the Zeus. Zeus brings so much to the table in the late game, even if it's just with the ultimate. If you take out the damage that he does and just the zoning potential that can come from around these Gold Furies, around these Fire Giants. Back when the Fire Giant was a pit, that was huge. There was only one entrance and one exit. It's still the same use.
I mean, exactly. Area denial always going to be effective on Zeus. However, if you are able to keep him down enough where that damage becomes basically irrelevant, you can walk through that lightning storm. It isn't a Kukulkan ult. You know, it's not going to 100 to 0 you. It is going to hit you for 200-300 per lightning strike. But if you can just walk through that, take 1 or 2 lightning strikes and kill him, you're not worried about the detonate damage, anything along those lines. So it's definitely a good option to make sure you're putting as much pressure on that Zeus as possible.
And we're not factoring in 2 big factors. Styley, for one, at least Styley, and then Welshbeastq. Sorry, I was looking for names. Styley and Welshbeastq, because they're going to be joining these fights here soon. We haven't really seen a lot of them, but as soon as they hit that mark, when they have those items, they get those levels, it's on.
It's going to be a complete farm fest on that left-hand lane. Xbalanque versus Chronos, 2 of the later game gods that you could ever have against each other in the same game. So you're right. Once they start to rotate, the fights are going to change. Who's going to be able to make more of an impact, the Chronos or the Xbalanque? Now, the laning phase does favor Xbalanque slightly just because he can affect his team without having to leave the lane. He can use that Darkest of Nights to help affect the team fight from a distance without having to rotate, whereas Chronos needs to physically be there if he wants to help his team in any way.
MangoMan here on the opposite side of the map, once again rotating. Gold Fury is going to be up here soon. They want as many people here, as many people to try and stop Cyclone from doing anything. Going to be a good pin, good shield wall. DineOhSaw going to be able to jump out of the majority of the damage, however. Bloakley throwing an unstable vortex, but it's not going to connect with anybody, but the wall going to keep the rest of Retribution away from Elexum once again.
I would have liked to see Salugi full commit with the Shards of Ice there, use the ultimate. He blocked off every single member of Retribution. Now he's going to be the one taunted in by CobbY, but it's not going to be enough damage. Great wall again, though, from Salugi, and that's a great sign because, like we mentioned, no matter how far behind he gets, he's still going to be effective with the CC and with the walls, and that's 2 good walls from him thus far already this game.
And I mean, it's great that all this CC is coming from a strong character. CobbY gonna be forced to go ahead and try to get out. The wall, he can't get away. Ezzuna gonna be able to take out CobbY. Now the Guan not gonna be able to heal up the rest of his team. CycloneGG, but they back off.
That's 4 ultimates used. That's why they back off. We still have the no Lightning Storm from Zeus that was used. MangoMan this entire time on this right-hand side, putting more focus onto it, but Cyclone knows they've got a ward by that speed buff.
Oh, look at this
Poor
rotation.
Elexum
gonna get sucked in to 5 members of Cyclone, immediately erased.
Feels bad. Now Jeron's in a really bad spot, has the ultimate available, and we've only seen him use it once this game. If you're using Athena jungle, you gotta use it more often than that. He's gonna fall to Ezzuna. MangoMan doing his best, knocks up basically every member of Cyclone, but it's just him along with the Welshbeastq. CobbY is now respawning. CobbY, no Wrath, it's on the Athena, and she is dead.
And I mean, CobbY can come in, can use the ultimate if he wants to try and find it, but instead, as soon as he walks up, he sees the Gold Fury fall right in front of his eyes. That's just another big play for Cyclone.
And now they're up almost 4,000 gold, looking significantly better than last game. I mean, it's all been Salugi looking a lot better. Yeah, Ezzuna's speed buff still getting invaded by MangoMan, but the focus is almost too heavy there. He's giving up a Gold Fury, letting Cyclone get around that Gold Fury for free because he's on the right side stealing away a speed buff. He's level 13. He needs to be in these fights, still ahead of Salugi overall in levels, but needs to be making more of an impact in the team fights. Needs to be there earlier. Instead of looking for that buff, like I mentioned, should have been helping to defend that Gold Fury, just even dissuading Cyclone from getting it.
And it's not near as easy of a game for him this time. The tier 1 tower is very close to falling at this point. Salugi's just putting on his juke shoes with MangoMan trying to not only dish out the damage but avoid it as well. MangoMan pushing very hard because he can't take down Salugi, because he doesn't have that gigantic lead. Taking down that tower frees him up to do the rotations. Like for fights he's not going to be in, like this one. Ezzuna barely getting by. The detonate almost took him out.
Great double taunt. That's the dream scenario, Zeus. You find 2 people with no creeps around and they're taunted in and they just both get devastated by chain lightning. Elexum, I believe, unless that ultimate just came up, had it available there. Would have liked to see him use it, full commit, and make sure you're killing Ezzuna. Probably thought he had enough damage anyways, just off the mark. A little bit unfortunate, but because of that pressure they get, they're able to get some significant damage onto this tier 1 tower in middle.
MangoMan rotates over, pops the meditation, but then the fight continues on, and at least he's here for it. Ezzuna channeling the ultimate. Elexum throwing down the storm as well. If anything, to keep the rest of the team off of him. Bloakley using the portal on the wayside to get out. Elexum might not be able to.
Great
the meditation coming through, plus the heal. Salugi looking for him, gonna be able to find him, but now he's just gotta get away.
Now he's gonna get away. Great 3-man pull coming out of Ezzuna, looking for Jeron, who looks like he's gonna be able to get away. Now Salugi getting shredded by that Talu Assault. Bloakley on the right-hand side, just trying to get back into the fight without dying. MangoMan does not want to let these kills go, but you have to, MangoMan. Let them go. They're gone. Let them go.
Just let it go.
It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be quite all right. 1 to 6 stand the kills. 13 minutes and 30 seconds. A lot slower game than we saw last time, but a little bit more demanding of a lead coming out from CycloneGG.
not as much of an individual lead like we saw last game. Last game, obviously, Mango Man, we've touched on it a million times by now, just got huge and dictated the entire pace. This time, it's a little bit more spread out. We see a 2-level lead, or a 1-level lead now, in the jungle for Ezzuna over top of Jeron. We see a 1-level lead in support. We see a 1-level deficit for Cyclone. Mango Man still with an edge over top of Salugi, but we see a 2-level lead in the mid lane and a 1-level lead in this ADC role as well. So the leads are much more spread out instead of just having one character be gigantic.
Salugi looks so much more comfortable on this Ymir pick. However, he does use the ultimate in a bad spot. Mango Man going to be able to completely get around that. Mango Man popping the ultimate as well, seeing this rotation coming through. Nobody going to be able to get there though in enough time. Mango Man trying to survive, trying to put on the juke shoes, but there are 4 people here.
Meditation's up. He's going to force the Typhoon out. Mango Man almost got out there. The Unstable Vortex from Bloakley is going to be the final hit on it. And there was no rotation at all from Retribution. I mean, there have been 4 people here for at least 10 seconds.
Jeron had his ult.
And Jeron had his ult again. We have not seen him use it except for one time. Where was the Athena ult there? Great point. Just super, super late. Jeron not looking nearly as comfortable on Athena as he was on Nemesis.
And now CycloneGG running through the jungle like they own the place, like they pay rent. Jeron taking a crap ton of damage. He tries to get out, but he's going to find Salugi on the wayside. The portal from Bloakley only going to get him through 1 rock and still in the fight. However, he's on the wayside now. Elexum, however, going to get pulled back from Ezzuna, get taken out very quickly. CobbY, the only one left, going to be able to heal himself up. Instead, pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles, and that was the right battle for Cyclone. Able to steal away that speed buff, it looks like, and get multiple kills. Elexum and Jeron fall after taking that tier 1 tower on the right-hand side. Again, just the delayed response from Retribution overall. Jeron, Alexa used the ultimate there, but instead he's just standing still, taking a ton of damage, like you said. Not the right fight for Retribution. If you're going to be that late, you got to give up your buffs on that right-hand side. Instead, they look to fight, and it's a worst-case scenario. They get 3 members dead, they lose their tower, and they lose the speed buff, and now Cyclone sitting in a great spot. Have pushed that lead all the way up to 4,000 gold. They were a little bit behind, but they were about 3,000 gold ahead earlier, now getting much closer to that 4,000 gold mark. And best for them, the Gold Fury is coming up again, and they have DineOhSaw, they have the Wrath. They're going to be looking at it yet again.
So my question to you is, last game, Retribution went absolutely crazy. You can't tell me that was all because of the Sun Wukong getting picked off early on. What else has changed?
The Sun Wukong didn't get picked off early.
Really?
I really do think that because
it.
It's just a chain of events. It's that because Amaterasu is so big, then he just destroys Bloakley the entire game, and Bloakley is not able to do anything at all, and Salugi isn't able to do anything at all, and then that's 2 people who are significantly far behind, and it opens up the map for Welshbeastq to farm. This time, they're the ones with the pressure on the right-hand side instead, and now it's not as easy to keep Bloakley out. Bloakley's got a 2-level lead, whereas it's Elexum who's 0-4 already. That just losing that lane that heavily was such a big impact that I really do believe that was the entire reason that Retribution was able to do it. It was all a domino effect.
Cyclone pulling the same thing Retribution did earlier on in the first game, denying them the fight. Retribution desperately want to put themselves on the board. They need these kills and they need that Gold Fury, and as soon as they saw them coming, it wasn't even a worry that they were going to steal it. Cyclone backed off. They're not giving Retribution any fodder.
They don't want to force a fight right now. They want to farm a little bit more. They want to get a couple more items online. You see a couple key items almost completed on the side of Retribution. Obsidian Shard almost finished for Elexum. Only needs a little bit more gold for that. You see the that's on Welshbeastq with the Obsidian Shard. It looks like Elexum's going to be going into a Book of Thoth, though with how far behind he is, Book of Thoth is not the pickup here. That should turn into a Soul Reaver just because of how far behind he is. He's 2 levels down, sitting at level 13, the same level as DineOhSaw, but he's behind 1,000 gold to the opposite support.
Nice taunt, but going to get 2 members pulled in advance. CobbY already using the ultimate, looking to find somebody, looking to find Ezzuna, but Bloakley going to be able to slow the entire party down.
Nice job by Ezzuna, just using that disengage from the Darkest Nights. But Mango Man's around the back, the 2-man freeze after the 2-man knockup, but Salugi's all alone. He's nowhere near anyone from his team. He gets picked off, finished off by Elexum. A complete disengage from everyone on Cyclone except for Salugi.
That's going to be the 2nd kill. We're 18 minutes in. That's the 2nd kill. coming out from Retribution. That's on average 1 kill every 9 minutes.
And they've both been onto Salugi. Now they're baiting the Gold Fury, waiting for DineOhSaw to come around the corner. MangoMan just too impatient. You gotta let him walk all the way into the pit there. Taunt from Jeron, gonna be on the mark this time. But DineOhSaw is transforming at the wrong spot, stun on the mark, but look at how little damage he's taking.
Especially against Welshbeastq, who has the full 50 stacks on that Doom Orb. Hasn't died, so they haven't really halved quite yet, but if they don't play their cards right, if they keep trying to force this fight, they very well could be. CycloneGG are right around the corner. Here comes the Storm, however, trying to secure it for themselves. DineOhSaw trying to come in, but the Gold Fury is gone.
Gone, and so is Jeron. Bloakley snipes out Jeron, but overall, that's a great secure from Retribution, stopping DineOhSaw from coming in, not letting him get close enough to use that Wrath. Elexum using that Lightning Storm ultimate as the area denial, like you mentioned earlier, as well as just overall Gold Fury secure. All of a sudden, this game is basically even. Retribution was significantly behind in one misstep, one little miscommunication from Cyclone. Salugi going in when the rest of the team was retreating. Yet another sign of growing pains from a new member of the roster costs CycloneGG.
That's exactly what they needed, though. Retribution able to put themselves back on the map. The gold lead is nowhere near as detrimental as it was earlier on. You're seeing that pull from about 3,000 back up in favor. It's still Cyclone's game right now, but Retribution have really curbed that. Huge
job by them, and they've got the late game prowess in their composition to really take advantage. If they can stay around this deficit, or even a little bit more, they could afford to be about 2,000, 2.5k down with the sort of composition they have, with the Zeus, with the Chronos, and the setup from Athena, and the sustain from Guan, and the setup from Erlang as well. Tons of damage coming off of tons of setup, but you got to get to the late game where it's effective. And we're starting to see that already. I mean, we saw how much better that fight looked for all of Retribution. Yes, it was a miscall overall from Cyclone that kind of led to that, but they still looked like they were doing much more damage and looked much more effective. And that's because this later game composition is starting to shine.
Rotations coming out onto the left side, coming out from Retribution. All they need to do is go sneeze on that tower. Yeah, Bloakley portaling through right in front of Jeron. Not going to be able to find the taunt, but a 2-man pull coming out from Ezzuna, going to get him out of position. And then a nice 3-man knockup coming through. Elexum popping down the Storm once again. Not going to get hit by the through space in time from Bloakley, however, and the detonate damage is doing wonders.
Yeah, Bloakley down to half HP. Welshbeastq, perfect rewind all the way back up to full. The through space of time off the mark, like you mentioned, and a little bit of an awkward engagement there. Jeron just completely whiffing a taunt on Bloakley, trying to use the shield wall first, not the right call.
And then we have Athena coming back into the play. DineOhSaw, he's going to be turning back into the dwarf soon. Salugi looking for the CC, able to find Cobb. Nice wall coming through as well, but that's a sprint being popped just so Retribution can just make the distance bigger.
But Welshbeastq is still very healthy right now. Doesn't have any purification or ult, but does have the Sanctuary available, so you have to be careful.
He wants to fight.
If you're on the side of Cyclone, because you're right, he's level 18. This is where he wants to fight. DineOhSaw gets caught out, a little bit too slow getting back, but now it's going to be CobbY taking a ton of damage.
I mean, CycloneGG still have fangs. If you pull the dog's tail enough, it's going to turn around and bite you. They have them on the retreat, but now they're still begging for this fight. Bloakley may be the first casualty here. He's so low, popping the Sanctuary. MangoMan looking for it. They're going to chase him around the corner. Meanwhile, CobbY forced out again. Retribution not looking as strong as they did now that 4 members of Cyclone are here at the tower.
TP's in, does Ezzuna, but a huge detonate coming out of Elexum. The freeze from Salugi, but they're so low. Here comes Guan on that cavalry charge. Ezzuna, nice Sanctuary, stops the damage from the time rift, pulls in Elexum, but he might pay for trying to pull him in.
Ezzuna going to get obliterated from MangoMan. DineOhSaw going to get a lot of damage coming out from the Chronos too. MangoMan stuck in the tower, but going to be just fine. Salugi, however, the only one really able to put up a kind of defense. Bloakley is here now. Gigantic damage coming out, considering how tanky MangoMan is.
MangoMan just chased Bloakley entirely out of that fight, but he chased him for too long. If MangoMan was there a little bit earlier, they probably could have picked up a second kill onto Salugi or DineOhSaw, whoever was low there, but instead elects to chase Janus, and we hear it all the time, don't chase Susano, don't chase Janus. Just so much extra mobility available to them. It's so hard to catch them once they get away from you a little bit.
23 minutes in. On the dot, 4 to 10 read the kills. Retribution showing signs of life and instead pulling the lead back into their favor. 300 experience, not the big deal. The gold, it's getting that nice foothold from where Cyclone were looking so strong.
Elexum is really just carrying this game right now. I mean, look at the damage charts. He's got more than double anyone else on his team. Yes, he has died a lot. He's 2, 4, and 2. But look at the damage numbers alone, and you look and see how much damage Retribution is lacking in the jungle. Jeron at the very bottom, their support at the very bottom. Welshbeastq hasn't been there quite yet. He's still a Chronos farming up, but still pretty low on those damage charts, considering how long he's had those Doom Orb stacks. It's been all Elexum doing the damage for Retribution.
Now, is that good for Cyclone? As this game continues, they're only going to get stronger versus Retribution. They have this nice tanky comp coming out from CobbY, coming out from Mango Man and Jeron, but they're lacking a lot of damage.
They are, but with the late game Zeus damage and late game Chronos damage, it is probably enough to get them through. The problem is that both of those characters are the same damage type. They're both magical, so you can build fairly effectively against them. There should be a runic shield coming out of Ezzuna here because you have to be physical to pick up Runic Shield. It gives physical power, so it's not like your solo laner can pick it up. And Ezzuna's really the only one who can, so we should see a Runic Shield out of him to decrease the overall power and attack speed of both the magical damage dealers. We should see Pestilences, we should see Bulwarks, all that kind of stuff.
Retribution looking to start this gold for you again, but it gets leashed. Beautiful knockouts coming out from the Typhoon, and Ezzuna gonna dash forward. Welshbeastq popping the Sanctuary, trying to avoid the burning damage coming out from DineOhSaw. Salugi gonna be able to put up the wall, but it's gonna wall himself. Welshbeastq gonna get credit for that kill, and at this point, they're gonna not start up the gold for you again and try to wipe them out instead.
What a great shell by CobbY, keeping Elexum alive there. Now it's gonna be no Styley falling. A nice unstable vortex hits too, but it's not gonna be enough. Now Bloakley may fall as well. Both relics used, able to get out with 1 HP, and there so much focus was paid to Zeus, but now we're at 25 minutes. And it was Chronos who was doing the majority of the damage that fight. Yeah, Zeus got 4,000 damage, but Chronos did it so much, able to finish off multiple members. Great med and heal, gonna bait Ezzuna in. Ezzuna should fall here on the back end, and all of a sudden, Retribution just continuing to push their lead.
They were like bulls. They saw red, they charged in, they wanted to make Elexum bleed, take him out, because he's a huge amount of damage. But then, as always, you forget about the Chronos. You can't ignore both Zeus and Chronos. It's easier to try and deal with Chronos later on, but they never had the opportunity to try and take him out. Goldfree gonna go down once again for the boys in blue. Elexum gonna take out DineOhSaw as well. Retribution securing themselves another Gold Fury.
And Bloakley's got to run away from Mango Man here. Gets pinned. He has no Purification or Sanctuary available. The freeze from Salugi gonna be very important to make sure he's able to get out alive. And Mango Man still full health after that entire engagement, low on mana, but that's about it. Just doing whatever he wants in these fights again.
I mean, and he can't dish out too much damage considering who he was just boxing in that 1v2. But still, being able to survive that long, that's the biggest thing. The sustain coming out from Retribution is nice.
It's the sustain, it's the zoning capabilities, it's the, easy to confirm pin and cripple combination. It's the knock up off the turtle, it's the taunt and heal to keep you in place. Erlang just brings a lot to the table out of the solo lane, and Mango Man using it pretty well here, 3, 2, and 5. Not as high on the damage charts as you would like, especially considering, how easy of a time he had poking out Salugi in lane. You'd probably expect him to have a little bit more damage than just 12,000, but overall still a strong game from him thus far.
We're pushing 4,000 gold lead when it comes to this game. Salugi gonna be a nice target. Good taunt. There's 3 members here, but here comes Ezzuna out from behind the rock. Now there's space and time coming through. A nice dash gonna make Jeron miss it, which is good for him because that range would have been very bad.
It would have been pretty bad. He does have the Void Stone online to give him some sort of magical protection, but the build here from Jeron, not what I would have liked. I like everything up until the Obsidian Shard. The Obsidian Shard, not the good call here. He wants the extra penetration, but he should have gotten Spear because they would have helped all of the magical damage on the side of Retribution. And they have a lot because they've got Chronos and Zeus, and you see how much Chronos can do right there, picking off Salugi yet again.
It took 4 of them to do that, though. Salugi, very tanky, very big contender for CycloneGG, but now they're going to continue their assault. Not going to find the pin onto anybody, but DineOhSaw taking a lot of damage, charging in with the horse. CobbY looking for the stuns, and then the storm continues to rage in the back lines of the tower. Bloakley trying to push forward, but Mango Man going to be able to find him. DineOhSaw just jumping away to try to avoid the carnage.
Here comes Jeron looking for the taunt, finds Ezzuna. Ezzuna's going to fall here to the shield wall as well. That tier 2 tower on the right-hand side already got shredded. No Styley trying to get picked up by Mango Man. He is going to get into the safety of his fountain, but no safety for that right-hand lane, losing the tower and the Phoenix. Just so much damage coming out of Chronos onto those towers. Such a proficient tower shredder, especially with the Polynomicon.
There was a 5-kill deficit earlier. Like, even more, Cyclone were looking so strong, and Retribution are turning everything against them. When they hit that mid-game point, things just started to spiral out of control.
Yeah, it's been the fact that no Styley has not had a good set, not a whole lot out of him. Well, actually, no, that's not true. His first game was excellent. This game, not nearly as much damage. You can see only 13,000 player damage, sitting at 4th on his team, and I know he's a late-game Xbalanque, but we're approaching 29 minutes now.
We're kind of getting to that late game.
We're late game. We're late game. You've got 5 items. Went for this Brawler's-Beastq to try and shut down the healing from Guan Yu, but I don't necessarily like that pickup because you're not going to be using your abilities a whole lot. No, I guess it is off auto attacks now. I'm still used to Season 2 Brawler's-Beastq, but I would have rather seen the Divine Ruin, I think, coming out of the Janus. It's just a lot easier to confirm, you know, some AoE damage, because you aren't always going to be hitting the Guan Yu necessarily. You want to be hitting everyone, and it reduces all of their healing received as well.
CycloneGG looking at the Fire Giant. CobbY is here, however, with the Tallow Assault and the Athena coming through in just a second as she crashed down, chunking the help, especially out of Ezzuna. Bloakley, a nice target, able to portal through the speed camp and then throw unstable vortexes through Salugi. Able to save the team, walling off. Ezzuna very low, Salugi very low. Jeron the only one here to try and stop it. Gonna get a nice freeze, but Salugi is not very fast. A good wall, gonna save himself once again. I have not seen a bad wall.
No, his walls have been very on point. Positioning needs some work overall, but the walls definitely do not. On point every single time. And now the Fire Giant. Oh, well, Elexum almost got sniped out.
That was so close.
That may have hit Welshbeastq. Forces out the rewind. But he's coming through. Is Ezzuna going to come into a ton of damage?
Yeah, I mean, but they did stop the Fire Giant. They stopped that attempt, but now they may lose DineOhSaw in the process. 5 members collapsing in on him. Salugi back in the fight. Not really going to be able to do too much right now except be a nuisance, which means Retribution can turn their sights right back to where they were.
And that's the Fire Giant. You still have the Wrath available from Athena. You still got 5 members up. You don't have Rewind or the Defender of Olympus, but 3 other important ults available. Bloakley tried to steal it, but he's going to get caught up to here most likely.
Yeah, gonna get caught up. He's running very quickly.
Oh
See how much damage that was. Welshbeastq gonna absolutely annihilate him, getting that last hit, but he got chunked for so much.
2 autos just did his entire health bar. The Polynomicon included. Just so much damage out of Welshbeastq. The freeze misses for Salugi, which is going to spell the certain end of that Phoenix in the middle lane. 4v5. This is Cyclone's last Phoenix.
This is last chance, more than likely, for Cyclone to try and stop them too. Nice 2-man knockup on the backline. Welshbeastq and Elexum. Salugi trying to stop the prime target from making the damage, and that's going to be Welshbeastq. But now Welsh trying to take out Styley. Going to be able to, even though he was almost in the fountain. Once again, they're stopping him. They're starting to go in and take this Titan.
And now they're looking for to secure the 2-0 over Cyclone. 2 weeks ago, Retribution gets 2-0'd by Cyclone. They make some changes, and then 2 weeks in a row get 6 points off the boys on CycloneGG. Retribution turning it around in a big way the last 2 weeks.
That's what I said, 3rd time's the charm. Retribution really stepping up. The addition of these new teammates, CobbY and Welshbeastq, have really been doing them worlds of good. When you check out the standings, you're going to see just how high they've climbed. Excellence now at the bottom.
And Retribution is right behind Cyclone, and they've got to be feeling pretty good about that because they've just taken the last 2 weeks, like I mentioned, 2-0ing Cyclone. So you're going to be able to put yourself in a great spot now. Just a couple weeks left. Retribution and Cyclone going to be battling it out for that top 2 spot.
All right, so who are your MVPs? Because I feel like Mango Man did a fantastic job in the first game, and then Welshbeastq.
It's those two. It's Mango Man and Welshbeastq. Mango Man, like we mentioned, just such a force in this solo lane early on in Game 2. Really opened up the map and allowed everything to happen for Welshbeastq on that left side, setting it up here with CobbY to secure that kill. And then Welshbeastq, I mean, we saw the damage that he could do late in the game, both sets. Top of the damage charts in Game 1, and then Game 2, not quite as high up on the damage charts, but the one-shot potential and the Phoenix Shred overall. Here it is. This is look, he's 2/3 health. 1, 2,
there it is.
dead.
Boom. Right there. They didn't even have to use anything. The CC's nice following up, but just those hits. He chunked so hard. You cannot forget about the Chronos.
And that's Polynomicon Chronos at 30 minutes into the game. It's, you know, there's always an opportunity for your Chronos to go off in these late game opportunities, and we saw it there from Welshbeastq.
We may have a call on the line. I heard that we may have Elexum joining us, the mid laner from Retribution. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys?
I'm doing fantastic. Very strong sets coming out from you. How are you feeling after that?
Well, we're feeling confident now with the new roster. Like, we had a really rough start because we made some unfortunate choices. But at the moment, well, we're looking better.
Are you guys, so yeah, you guys made some unfortunate choices, like you said. The decision to part ways with Proxy QQ after the SCL Summer Finals land, and it took you a little while to find the right jungler, and it was your previous ADC, Jeron, moving over to there. How has Jeron been making that transition, and how are you liking working with him with this mid-jungle synergy?
Well, the thing is, I had kind of issues with Proxy myself, which is why we made this choice. And I've always had really good synergy with Jeron. Like, we play a lot together. Like, the two of us basically play all day, all night. So then in rank, Jeron was just playing jungle more than ADC, and we're like, maybe we should try this, maybe it works for us. And then we started trying it in scrims, and then we chose to go for it.
Well, Jeron's definitely working for you guys. What about bringing on CobbY and Welshbeastq?
Well, I know Welsh already from back when I just did the qualifiers. Like, we played against him a lot. He was in team in that now is Excellence. He was their ADC, and yeah, I always rated him, but he had some kind of mentality issues that people had problems with. But he really worked on it, and it's completely different now. And then CobbY he's just a really nice guy, and he's doing fantastic. At first, actually, I might say it now, I had my doubts about him.
Okay.
But so far, like, he has really proven to be a strong addition to the team because he has really good comms, which was something we needed. Because in the beginning of this split, we struggled with comms. We had no comms, and well, yeah, you just saw it in our games. We had no plans, no comms. We just didn't do anything.
Well, you know, moving forward here, like you said, feeling much more confident, looking much better with this new roster. Looking up at the top right now, Rival sitting at 19 points, already secured their first place seeding coming out of the online stage. What can any team in EU do to try and catch up to what seems like, you know, the super team over there?
Camp out Rapio.
Shut them down.
Like, yeah, I feel like Rival at the moment, if you compare them to the other EU teams, more than likely, like NA has his different stuff.
Sure.
But at the moment, Rival is, as a team, just the strongest. There's nothing to say about it. They have their synergy completely worked out. They have everything going for them. So yeah, but I think, like, Excellence is, in my opinion, the other team that I look up to more than I actually look up to Cyclone, because you get, for the viewers, it looks like Cyclone is stronger. But if I judge it myself, it's actually, like, we scrim both teams a lot, and I rate Excellence more. We have harder time against them.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you guys looked obviously very good against Cyclone, taking 2-0s against them in back-to-back weeks. Thanks so much for joining us, Elexum. Would you like to give any shout-outs before you go?
Shout-outs to the team. Shout-outs to our new sponsor who will be announced after the game.
Ooh.
And
you got a hint for us?
You got any sick deets?
A little spiciness?
Yeah, you guys will have a hard time casting next week.
Oh boy.
No.
That is the hint.
Come on, man. Making our job harder.
For real, though.
And last shout-outs to Snazzy.
Shout-outs to Snazzy. All right, thank you, man. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck going into these last few weeks of the SCL online play.
Well, that was Elexum, mid laner for Retribution. Thank you again for giving us such fantastic games. Do you have any final thoughts from everything we've seen today?
Rival is still way, 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 way better than all other EU teams. But Retribution's looking a lot better. And, you know, they've got the LAN experience on multiple players there. We'll see if they can kind of go into it. But, I mean, Elexum saying that they were more worried about Excellence than they are about Cyclone. This second place kind of battle between those three other EU teams is going to be very interesting.
All right, well, you saw it here. If you're starved out, if you're looking for more Smite action, the SPL lands are going to be starting here this week, Friday, hi-rez TV. But if you're really itching for more, Console League will be back here next Monday. Thank you all for watching from everybody here. Me and Aggro as Tagro, Pecky's in the back line. Thank you. We'll see you guys later.